Food is one of the most fascinating aspects of culture, revealing so much about a people's history, environment, and traditions. But while some dishes are universally loved, others can leave us scratching our heads, or maybe even a bit queasy. Today, we're going to take a culinary journey around the world to explore 25 of the weirdest foods that people actually eat. And trust me, these dishes will challenge your definition of adventurous eating. Hakkarl, Iceland. Let's start in Iceland with hakkarl, which is fermented shark meat. This dish is infamous for its pungent smell, which has been compared to ammonia and rotting fish. It's a traditional Viking dish that requires a strong stomach and a sense of adventure. Balut, Philippines. Moving to Southeast Asia, in the Philippines, you'll find balut, a fertilized duck egg with a partially developed embryo inside. It's boiled and eaten straight from the shell. For many, it's a popular street food delicacy, but for others, it's a test of bravery. Casu marzu, Italy. From the Mediterranean island of Sardinia comes casu marzu, also known as maggot cheese. This sheep's milk cheese is deliberately infested with live maggots that help ferment the cheese. It's illegal in many countries, but Sardinians swear by its rich, intense flavor. Surströmming, Sweden. Next up is surströmming from Sweden, a fermented Baltic herring known for its extremely strong odor. In fact, it's so potent that it's often eaten outdoors to avoid stinking up the house. The smell is so intense that some airlines have banned it from their flights. Tuna eyeballs, Japan. In Japan, you can find tuna eyeballs served as a delicacy. They're typically boiled and seasoned with soy sauce or garlic. Despite their intimidating appearance, they're said to taste like squid or octopus, chewy and mild. Fried tarantulas, Cambodia. In Cambodia, fried tarantulas are a popular snack, especially in the town of Skuon. These large spiders are seasoned with salt and garlic, then deep-fried until crispy. The legs are crunchy, while the body is said to be soft and juicy. Stink bugs, Africa. Across parts of Africa, stink bugs are consumed for their unique taste, often described as bitter and slightly citrusy. They're typically boiled and eaten as a snack or added to soups and stews. Century egg, China. In China, the century egg, also known as the 100-year egg, is a preserved egg that's been cured for several weeks or months in a mixture of clay, ash, and salt. The yolk turns dark green or black, and the egg white becomes jelly-like, with a strong, pungent flavor. Escamoles, Mexico. Often referred to as Mexican caviar, escamoles are edible ant larvae harvested from the roots of the agave plant. This dish is a delicacy in Mexico, typically sautéed with butter and spices, and served in tacos or omelets. Sanakji, South Korea. Sanakji is a Korean dish consisting of live octopus tentacles that are chopped into pieces and served immediately, still squirming on the plate. Eating it is a challenge, as the tentacles can stick to the inside of your mouth. Haggus, Scotland. Haggis is a traditional Scottish dish made from sheep's organs, heart, liver, and lungs, mixed with oatmeal, onions, and spices, and then encased in the sheep's stomach. It's a hearty dish, often served with mashed potatoes and turnips. Kopi Luwak, Indonesia. Kopi Luwak is a unique type of coffee from Indonesia, made using coffee beans that have been eaten and excreted by civet cats. The beans are cleaned and roasted, resulting in a smooth, rich coffee that's considered a delicacy, despite its unusual production method. Rocky Mountain oysters, USA. Despite the name, Rocky Mountain oysters are not seafood. They're deep-fried bull testicles, a delicacy in parts of the United States, particularly in the Rocky Mountain region. They're typically served with dipping sauce and have a texture similar to calamari. Muktuk Arctic regions. Muktuk is a traditional Inuit dish made from whale skin and blubber, often eaten raw or pickled. It's a staple in Arctic regions, providing essential nutrients in a harsh environment. The taste is described as oily and chewy, with a unique, briny flavor. Witchetty grub, Australia. In the Australian outback, the witchetty grub is a large, white larva that's eaten raw or lightly cooked. It's a traditional food of indigenous Australians, rich in protein, with a nutty flavor when cooked and a creamy texture when eaten raw. Durian, Southeast Asia. Often referred to as the king of fruits, durian is notorious for its strong odor, which has been compared to rotten onions or sewage. Despite the smell, it's loved in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore for its sweet, creamy flesh. Escargo France. Escargot, or snails, are a delicacy in France. They're typically cooked with garlic, butter, and parsley. While the thought of eating snails might be off-putting to some, they're considered a gourmet treat and have a tender, slightly chewy texture. Shirako, Japan. Shirako, which translates to white children, is the milt or sperm sacs of male fish, usually cod or pufferfish. It's served raw or cooked in Japan and has a creamy texture with a mild, slightly sweet flavor. Fugu is the Japanese word for pufferfish, which is highly poisonous if not prepared correctly. Only licensed chefs can serve this dish, as the fish contains a toxin that's 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide. Despite the risks, it's a sought-after delicacy for its delicate taste. Beong are steamed or boiled silkworm pupae, commonly sold as street food in South Korea. They're a crunchy snack with a nutty, slightly earthy flavor, and are often served with a sprinkle of salt. Teppa is a fermented fish head dish traditionally made by the native Alaskans. The fish heads are buried in the ground to ferment and are then eaten raw. The dish has a strong flavor and is an acquired taste, appreciated for its rich, fatty texture. Jellied moose nose, Canada. A traditional dish among Indigenous peoples in Canada, jellied moose nose is exactly what it sounds like: boiled and jellied slices of moose nose. The texture is gelatinous, with a flavor that's described as rich and gamey. Blood sausage, also known as black pudding, is made from blood, usually pig's blood, mixed with fat and other ingredients before being cooked. It's eaten in various forms around the world, from the UK to Spain to Korea. Originating in the American Midwest, fried brain sandwiches are made from sliced calves' brains, battered and fried. They're usually served on white bread with pickles and onions. The dish was more popular before the mad cow disease scare, but it's still enjoyed by some. Basashi is raw horse meat, a delicacy in Japan. It's often served sashimi style, thinly sliced with soy sauce and ginger. The meat is tender and lean, with a flavor that's mild and slightly sweet. These 25 dishes may seem strange, even shocking to those of us who aren't accustomed to them, but they offer a fascinating glimpse into the diversity of global cuisine. They remind us that food is deeply rooted in culture and tradition, and what might seem weird or unappetizing to one person is a cherished delicacy to another. So, the next time you're traveling, why not take a leap and try something new? You never know. It might just become your new favorite dish.